Hello everyone and welcome to a chilly Veterans Memorial Stadium where today the 86th annual Quincy North Quincy Thanksgiving Day football game will take place. My name is Jonathan Collier at Quincy Access TV and we want to thank you for tuning in to this edition of QATV Sports. I'm being joined by Jim Timmons, and Jim, as I mentioned, it's a pretty chilly day here, but it's not preventing a fantastic game here between the two teams.
Yeah, chilly captures it just a bit, John. We've got it's a windswept Veterans Stadium. That's going to be a big factor in today's game. We'll talk about that a little later, but we've got the sun, which is a positive, but when you're talking about a 14-degree baseline, the sun's not going to be all that much help. So we've got cold air, windy conditions, so it's going to be very interesting. A challenging weather day here at Veterans Stadium.
Certainly will be. And real quick, we're going to bring in our first guest here today for our pregame, the mayor of the city of Quincy, Mayor Thomas Koch.
Good morning, gents.
Mayor, happy Thanksgiving.
So same to you, Jonathan.
Morning, Mayor. Good to see you. And the field looks beautiful. It's going to be a terrific mat for today's game, especially in light of the conditions.
Oh, absolutely. You think about the old days with natural turf and frozen tundra conditions.
Yeah.
When those kids hit the ground, they felt it. But this has a nice cushion to it.
Yeah. Should be great.
Yeah,
But one good thing here.
Definitely, yeah. There was a report the other day. Someone was talking about having to shovel the field. That's not here in Quincy, but I know that's happened before as well. And there's even one time got postponed because of big snow. But just the cold here today, and a lot of the fans will come out and see the new field for the first time.
Yes, absolutely. I can remember back in the park department days when you had to mark the field. You'd have to bring the machine into the boiler room every so often because it was freezing up because of the conditions. So this is a lot easier on the grounds crew for certain. And as I said, it's better for the guys and for avoiding injuries. And it looks beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
Talk about what this game means to the city of Quincy. As I mentioned, this is the 86th time these teams have met, and it really brings the city together as a whole.
Oh, indeed. The word that comes to mind is tradition. It's a great tradition. There's a lot of Thanksgiving Day games, but this is unique because it's two rivals within the city. Pretty fascinating. And as I've seen over the years, as a kid, you didn't go north to Furnace Brook Parkway, and Quincy High didn't come or south, and they didn't come north to Furnace Brook Parkway. But now the kids, they play club teams together. They play in more athletics together, so they certainly fight, and they're very serious on the field. But they're all friends before and after the fact, and that's a little bit different than the old days.
Definitely.
Mayor, this is a great time of year in the city. I know you really enjoy it. We're going to kick off the Christmas holiday season. We just came off a terrific Veterans Day celebration right across the street, and I know your son is away this time of year. A lot of kids who have played sports here in the city played in this very game are away this time of year. I don't know if you care to talk a bit about that in light of the commitment of our city to the veterans.
Yeah, certainly. Again, great tradition. Every generation stepped up to fight for this nation, fight for the peace, and today is no different. I remember going down to Tom's graduation out of boot camp a little over a year ago now. And there were two other kids from Quincy, two Quincy High kids, Josh Rodriguez and Michael Tervakowski. And I'm not sure if they played in the game, but I know they were both athletes. And to see these young men, the commitment they were making, in talking to Tom the other night, he said the only thing he misses from high school is playing football. He loved the game. He loved being out there.
We'll see if we can edit that out of next week's presentation. Don't want to get him in any trouble. Yeah, there are a number of kids who have all, I know a group from when my son was in high school, got out in 2008. A lot of them enlisted, so we've got a long history and a very proud current service or list of folks in the service. It's terrific, and it's wonderful to be part of a city that recognizes that and honors them annually.
Well, and here we are. You say Veterans Memorial Stadium. You forget that that's named for all those guys, especially those that never came home. You look at it over the years, World War II and World War I, Vietnam. We lost a lot of guys that, what could have been for their life, So we're very fortunate to have such brave and courageous men that we're willing to serve.
Mayor, real quick, I know you enjoyed this time of the year, especially with the lighting of Quincy Center, and I assume you're going to be even more excited with it taking place on the new Hancock Adams Common.
Yeah, I'm like a 10-year-old when it comes to Christmas lights, Jonathan. And they've been working very hard up at the Hancock Adams Common. It's really going to be fantastic. So we encourage people to come up and enjoy it.
That's just going to be lit all up until New Year's, correct?
Oh, absolutely. We usually bring it to the old tradition was we went to Little Christmas, January 6th, so that's what we'll probably do.
All right, sounds good. Well, Mayor, thanks for coming on, and happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you,
Jeff.
Matt.
Happy Thanksgiving,
All right.
everybody.
Very good. We have some more luminaries ready to join us. Perhaps we'll have our superintendent, Dr. DeCristofaro, come in. My lips are already starting to freeze up.
Well, like I said, Jim, it's pretty chilly out here, and the wind makes it even colder.
Bring the deputy superintendent up too.
Oh, terrific. Kevin Mulvey. Nice to see you, Kevin. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well. Yeah. Here, I'll have John Caleri interview you two. I can't keep up with this crowd.
Oh, yeah, sure. Come on. Yeah. Keep up with any crowd.
Well, we were just talking about how great a tradition this is, this game, and it brings the city together as a whole, and all the kids together.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that, if you would.
It really does. I mean, this is just about tradition, and there's so many great traditions, and this is just simply one of them. And to have our kids participate in a game like this, they never forget it. And whether it's our cheerleaders, our incredibly marching band, they never forget these. So these are memories that they'll have forever. But it's also a city that never forgets its youth too. So we're very grateful for everything that the city does for the Quincy Public Schools.
Definitely. Kevin, there's a lot of things going on in the city and this public schools this year, every year, especially this time of year. It's very busy going on in the schools, and this kind of is one of the big things that kicks it off for the season.
Absolutely. It's a fantastic day for everybody. We do want to make sure we thank everyone that made this possible today. Everyone from our security, the police officers, the coaches, obviously the students, the members of the band. We just want to make sure everyone is thanked for everything they've done to put this great day on today, including QATV. So thank you.
QATV, got to stay warm.
I was just going to say, this must have been an effort for the school department. This is one of the coldest games we've had on record.
Yeah, and as Kevin says, our athletic directors, have done a tremendous job. Both Kevin and JJ, they work together beautifully. They got a great relationship, and it's always all about kids. So we're very fortunate to have such great young men as athletic directors as well.
No, I know one of the big things that comes up is that this season concert is going to be coming up in the beginning of summer. Talk a little about that as well.
Yeah, December 4th at Quincy High School, and with the great Quincy Symphony Orchestra, Yoichi Utagawa as a director, a great high school chorus sings right along with them. We pack it up to over 700 people, and it's all by our partners this year. Mayor Koch is sponsoring it as well. So we're very grateful. It's going to be a wonderful tradition, and this is our 18th year doing that. So it really be a great night.
Kevin, the QSO is one of the many partners the public schools have in the city of Quincy to help the students learn a lot of different things and get out in the community as well.
Absolutely. Our partnership, there are so many members to our partnership. I think we're the envy of the South Shore, I have to say. There's just so many members that are so generous to the Quincy Public Schools, and we want to thank them greatly for everything they do for us.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Well, thanks, gentlemen, for coming on. We appreciate it, and stay warm and have a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. You too.
Take care.
Thanks very much.
James!
Hello to all the Mulleys.
Thank you, too.
All right.
Take care, buddy.
It's good to
Nice
see
to
you.
see you.
All right, take
you
care.
get two mics so you can...
Oh, yeah. There you go. And I have a couple of other luminaries lined up for you, John. The principals of both high schools are going to come up and say hello.
Excellent.
Mr. Timmons? Larry?
Coach, how are you?
Very well. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. How are you, Rob?
Thanksgiving. All right, thanks.
We've been talking every year, but especially this year. This game brings everyone together in the city of Quincy, especially on this cold day. But crowd coming out and the schools coming together and the students, they love this game.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And, just for Quincy High School, I'm sure for Mr. Short North, it's a terrific week of spirit and everything. And we're ready to go. Yeah, beautiful day for football.
It is. The spirit, as every year. This is what it adds up to as we build towards this game, and a little bit of spirit maybe warms some people up here too.
Hopefully today, especially. I assume you gentlemen can see the change in the kids this week. I said it's kind of the spirit week, but it kind of leads up to it as well. People know Thanksgiving is coming. I assume the couple of weeks coming up to it beforehand. You can see the change in the school, I assume.
Yeah, like I said, a ton of spirit in the school. I mean, overall for the program at Quincy High School, and I think we had a chance to say before, 2 new coaches at both schools. With Ryan Craig at North and Kevin Carey, Quincy High School, 2 guys who have lived football at North for Ryan and Quincy High for Kev, and just a definite passion, I know for us, I'm sure Rob would feel the same way.
I agree, and that's translated into wins at both ends of town as well. Make for a good competitive game here today.
Talk about the difference of having a new coach coming in for both schools. It hasn't happened too often, both the same year. But talk about Coach Craig coming in, the difference he's made this year.
Coach Craig has been great. You know, he's obviously got deep roots at the school and the community, and he has generated a lot of interest and excitement around that team and in that program. Maintains a lot of the traditions that have been around for decades in NQ and NQ football in particular. And I think all that kind of came together in a first season that you couldn't ask for something better.
And also Coach Carey as well, been with the team for a number of years, but first year as head coach. Talk about him.
Kevin played at Quincy High School. He's been coaching at Quincy High School for 20 years, and he lives and breathes Quincy High School football, and he has a terrific staff of coaches that are with him too. Very involved. A lot of the coaches work inside the school, which is a great piece for us. A lot of enthusiasm for the program.
Gentlemen, thank you very much for coming on, and hopefully a great game here today, and have a happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you, John.
Thanks very much.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving. Good to see you. We'll see you later, Larry. Yeah, very good. And Dr. DeCristofaro was kind enough to bring over the ADs to chat with us briefly, which should be great.
He's done a lot of work.
Come on in,
here.
gentlemen. Here you go.
Thank you. Thank you. How you doing, Mr. Tibbs?
Kevin Mahoney, JJ Niemke, thanks very much. Happy Thanksgiving, gentlemen.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
A lot of hard work goes in for the entire season. You guys don't do just football, volleyball, soccer, everything that's going on, track. Talk about all the work that goes into getting everything organized and making it look like it's smooth sailing for the entire year. Talk about that.
Yeah, it's obviously we have a bunch of fall teams, had successful seasons for most of the teams. All our coaches work hard, dedicated, fully committed, and support the kids and all that. So it makes our lives a lot easier when you got guys like that. And then obviously on a day like today, it's cold, but we'll get through it. A lot of preparation, but we work very well together, and we have tremendous support from our principals and administration. So everything comes together, and should be a good day.
JJ, talk about having a full steam at Creedon Field this year, and having some double duty coming with Quincy coming over this year with veterans under construction. A little bit more work for you this year, but I assume you enjoyed it as well.
Oh yeah, it was a great fall. Just to reiterate what Kevin said, we had a great fall with all our teams, and we did play a lot of games at Creedon. Creedon did get a lot of use this year, but there's just a great support system around us. From everybody, from the mayor, from our the school committee, from both administrations, and both teams too. They really work together, and we're really cooperative for this fall season. So we had everything done. There's a couple little hiccups, but overall it's a very smooth fall, and Creedon worked out perfectly for us. But it's good to be back here for Thanksgiving, though. It's nothing like veterans. So
well, I want to say to both of you guys, I've called on you from different help throughout the year, and I knew I will be as well as different seasons come along. So I just want to thank you for all your help as well.
Of course.
And, Jim, they've been very responsive for everything as well.
Yeah, and I'd just like to say, I really hope you two realize how important you are in the city. You're really inspiring kids who otherwise might not be coming to school in some instances. So you've each done a terrific job. I've observed that. I'm very, very impressed by it. And for our viewers on the south end of the city, what is it like to see this kid with this guy?
took some getting used to, but I'm into the red and black now.
Yeah, I walked into Veterans Stadium today, and JJ was the first guy I saw, and I said, that just doesn't look great somehow. But it looks great on you with the job you're doing down at the school.
Thank you.
You're both doing terrific work.
Thank you.
And very impressed and grateful for it.
Thank you.
Happy
Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you
Happy
guys.
Thanksgiving. Thanks very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks again. Thank you.
See you, Kevin. Say hello at home, please. Good man.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, Jim. Well,
I was going to say, two terrific young men, and they're really inspirational in their own schools. So, go ahead, John. I can see why it was good you kept the mic from me during this pregame phase.
all right. Well, I think what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break. Jim and I, we're going to head up to the booth, and when we come back, we'll have kickoff from the 86th annual Thanksgiving Day football game here in the city of Quincy. We'll be right back. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Veterans Memorial Stadium for the 86th annual Thanksgiving Day football game between the Quincy Presidents and the North Quincy Red Raiders. My name is Jonathan Caleri, and thank you for tuning in to this edition of QA TV Sports. I'm being joined up in the booth by Jim Timmons. And Jim, as I mentioned, this is the 86th time these two schools have met. And everyone's excited for yet another Thanksgiving Day game here in the city of Quincy.
Yeah, we talked in the pregame about weather conditions. It's really going to be a challenging day today, and it's going to be a big factor in the game. It is cold, it's very windy, and the North Quincy passing game, which was a real strength this season, is going to be compromised a bit as a result of that. So it's going to be interesting to see how the conditions influence the game, John.
Jim, North Quincy started out strong this season, winning the first few games, but then towards the end of the season kind of had a tough break in it and have lost the last few games. Quincy, on the other hand, is the reverse story. Lost some games in the beginning of the season, and they've won their last two to come in with some momentum here in Thanksgiving. Talk about that, the tale of the two seasons for both schools.
Yeah, you captured it perfectly, John. Coach Carey has done a terrific job in his first year. The coach and his staff, it's a veteran coaching staff, but for Kevin, it's his first year as head coach and his first time on the sideline calling all the shots. Well, the team has steadily developed over the course of the year, and at the beginning of the season, after the first couple of games, I thought North's going to have the edge on Turkey Day, but weather conditions, the strong development of the Quincy offensive line this year, that's really changed the dynamic, and I think we're looking at a situation where this could be a very similar game to last year's, where it was a defensive battle and a close game. And that's if North gets lucky, because really they're banged up today, a lot of question marks on skill positions, so we'll have to see who takes the field for the Red Raiders as well.
North Quincy, they were able to go to the Division IV South playoffs, where they lost a tough game against Plymouth South. And then, as I mentioned, Quincy High School, they've won their last two games, beating Durfee and Pembroke in the last 2 weeks. North Quincy, as I mentioned, again, started out strong, winning their first three games against Silver Lake Westwood and Archbishop Williams, one of the best starts in the school for the last 15, 20 years.
Yeah, we have a nice shot on our camera, our center, 50-yard line camera of kind of the spectacle here at the stadium today. We've got the brand new turf. Each school has got a little spirited display they're putting on. We've got the cheerleading squads out there, and we've got the school band off to the right. We're going to start with the captains, then go to the national anthem. It should be a very nice 4 or 5 minute pregame ceremony, John.
All right, captains for both schools are out on the field for the coin toss.
Welcome the captains to midfield. The captains of the Quincy Presidents. Number 54, Mark McKenna.
And I believe we're having some technical difficulties with the referee's microphone, so unfortunately we won't be able to hear the coin toss down there this morning.
Yeah, a lot of I'm surprised there haven't been more, but a lot of technical issues with today, given the weather. It's very difficult, and as I said, it'll be a factor. At some point, we may get a shot of the flag, which is off in the northeast corner of the field. You'll see it blowing pretty much dead south. The wind is going to be out of the northwest all game, which means it's going to come over it's going to come from our left to our right the entire game. So I think field position will be a factor. North Quincy is going to be heading right to left, so they'll be heading into the wind for the first quarter, which we'll talk about that in a few minutes. But we're going to break up for the national anthem now, I believe. They're ready to go.
Yeah, real quick, 15 degrees here at kickoff, clear skies, and as you mentioned, Jim, the wind about 15 miles per hour for that, so we'll see how it affects the teams here today. 15 degrees, add on the 15-mile-per-hour wind, so it's going to be a lot chillier than that, and how it's actually going to feel for the teams out there. North Quincy won the coin toss, and they elected to defer their option to the second half. And as you mentioned, Jim, Quincy will receive to start the game. They'll be defending the south end zone, heading left to right. North Quincy will be defending the north end zone, the south end zone, and heading right to left. All right, we are now going to pause, as you mentioned, for the national anthem being performed by the combined Quincy North Quincy Marching Band.
If I could please ask everyone to rise, remove your headgear. Place the American flag in the north end zone for a rendition of the Star Spangled Banner presented by the North Quincy High School Combined Band.
Nice job there by the combined Quincy North Quincy Marching Band. Jim, they've been at all the football games this season, and we've talked about a number of times this season as well that great to see the band being so large out there in the uniforms, and really have done a great job all year.
Yeah, and today's crowd kind of highlights the fact that the school communities at the two high schools are really engaged and involved. You've got the band, which is increasing in number. I saw a lot of the ROTC students here in uniform, and there is a terrific student turnout, John. Whoever says that the fairer sex is the hardier and stronger one, they're absolutely correct. I was looking in the stands, and I got to say 80% of the people here today are female, and it's the mums and the females in the student body who showed up, notwithstanding the tough weather conditions. Some of the guys are staying at home under blankets, and I get a big kick out of that one. But we're ready to go here. The players are out on the field, and you know, John, one little observation I might make at this time is this. Normally, going both ways is something that is a negative factor for North Quincy and Quincy High, but today, staying out on the field, moving, playing in your final game of the football season. They'll have plenty of energy and plenty in reserve, but just being out there moving around is going to be a positive for these kids, because if you're on the sideline and you have to go in for a play or two, it's going to be hard to get warmed up.
All right, we are ready for kickoff, and Kieran O'Driscoll will kick it deep for the Red Raiders. Quincy will receive it at their own 8-yard line over to the left side. Aiden O'Connell on the return. He runs over to the left and gets knocked out of bounds at about the 28-yard line, and that's where the Presidents will start the game.
Yeah, that's terrific field position. Very nice return. You'll notice that Kieran kicked the ball over to the far right side there, trying to take advantage of the sun factor. We're going to talk about that. It will not impact the Quincy High receivers during this first possession because they're looking back. But the Quincy quarterback's going to be looking into the sun, and it could affect his performance as they break the huddle for the first play of the 2018 Thanksgiving football game.
All right, again, Quincy heading left to right if you're listening live at home on QATV. We appreciate you tuning in. Quincy quarterback number 5, Amarian Robinson for the Presidents. In the I formation, Quincy will start off. They're going to hand it off to Isaiah Steinberg. He's going to try over to the right side. And nice job there by Tim Layden coming up to knock Steinberg out of bounds. Going to be a no gain, maybe a loss of 1 on the play.
Yeah, terrific job by the North Quincy High defense of stringing that one out. Layden, the captain, quarterback, and guy who's all fired up there. made the stop, forced the running back out of bounds. And John, you mentioned the quarterback for Quincy High School, Robinson, only a sophomore. There are a number of very talented sophomores out on the field today for both teams. It's a terrifically talented class in Quincy football, the sophomore group, both squads.
All right, there was a loss of 2 on the play, back to the 26-yard line. And on this play, it's another run by Steinberg, and he's going to run over to the left side, get up to the 30-yard line.
Yeah, that time trying to run inside the tackle. The first play to Steinberg, they were trying to get him outside, and North Quincy did a terrific job of stringing it out. Well, that time they plugged the gap over on the right side of the North Quincy High defense, the left side of the Quincy offense. Quincy trying to run inside the tackle that time, unable to do so. So the running game a little balky in this first series. It makes Ryan Craig's decision to defer look like a good one, John.
3rd and 8 now for the Presidents from their own 30-yard line. Just underway here on Thanksgiving morning in the first quarter. Steinberg gets the pitch over to the right side, and he's going to go nowhere quickly. Coming up to make the initial hit for North Quincy was number 66, Josh Dangora.
Yeah, we have a player down for Quincy. He's grabbing at his ankle. We're really sorry to see that early on here. I am concerned in today's game about injuries, John, because when it's this cold, the kids are going to be playing really tight, and that makes you more susceptible to injury. On this particular play, I think the young man, he's really grabbing at his ankle. Is that, looks like TJ Ortiz, the senior. I think it's number 34, but I'm not certain. And he's really grabbing at his ankle, so I'm worried that the way he's punching the turf, there could be a real problem there. So Quincy starts with a 3 and out, but more importantly, they start with a big injury. It is Ortiz. He's been the blocking back for this really successful running program for Quincy High. He's a senior, so this could be a very difficult loss for Quincy. In addition to the injury.
I'm not too sure. As he was leading the way, Jim, if he might have gotten rolled up from behind. There was a number of players over there coming in to make the tackle, so I'm not too sure, like I mentioned, if he got hit from behind and rolled up on.
Yeah, I hope he's okay. You know, one of the things, when you're relying on sophomores, and we may have seen this a little bit here in the first Quincy possession, the young kids in their first Thanksgiving game, it's going to take them a while to get loose, get their minds into the flow of the game with the pregame jitters. That time, Steinberg with 3 carries. He's had a terrific season thus far, but was not able to muster much. So I don't know if the youth is a factor. I noticed during the national anthem that several of the younger North Quincy players were lining up and facing southward toward the MBTA bus barn. And those who are experienced here at the stadium know that the flag is in the north corner. So I get a little kick out of that. I thought it was demonstrative of the youth of the and inexperience of the players. Well, there are several Quincy High players out there now having been called out by their coaches, and I think they were intending to carry this young man off the field, but it looks like they may have to get a gurney. I am nervous about, because of the way TJ was pounding the turf, that this is a more severe injury than like a roll-up or a sprain.
Yeah, and the EMTs, as you mentioned, have come over.
Yeah, they're signaling again for the players to come just to get the boy up and off. It looks like normally there would be an ambulance in the corner here, and I don't see one. So they may be calling for an ambulance. They have personnel here, but they may have to call for a unit now. Tough way to start the game. And then as a practical matter, and I hate to be practical when a young man's on the field injured like this, but as a practical matter, you have the players standing around doing nothing, and that's just going to make them more susceptible, tighter and more susceptible to injury. So, well, his teammates are carrying him off. and we certainly hope that this is something that can be addressed and that it's not a serious injury.
Has to be a tough thing also for the Red Raiders. I'm sure a lot of them know TJ, and just to have a play go down first thing in the beginning of the game has to be tough for both teams, never mind the Presidents as well. So best wishes to TJ Ortiz. Hopefully he is okay, and they're calling both teams out back onto the field to get the game back underway. 9:42 here in the first quarter, so we are just underway here on Thanksgiving morning at Veterans Memorial Stadium.
Yeah, the punter, number 84, Andrew Rooney, is one of very few hardy souls out here who does not have his arms fully covered. Andrew's got his game jersey on, and that's it. And actually, several of the Quincy kids did this.
He has trouble holding onto the snap, and he cannot kick it away. It gets blocked by North Quincy, and North Quincy's going to get the ball, Jim, on the Quincy High School 23-yard line.
All right, well, there you had a couple of things. That football had been sitting the entire time during TJ Ortiz's misfortune. And, you know, we all know in the New England region after Deflategate about ball pressure. Well, the snap was high. Andrew had trouble handling it, as you said, and the Red Raiders were all over him. If you watch this replay, you're going to see a wobbly snap. Actually, they're breaking the huddle, so we'll skip a replay and come back real time here and watch Tim Layden and see if the Red Raiders can't jump right on this, John.
All right, I said Captain Tim Layden for the Raiders gets the direct steps on, keeping himself, runs it up the middle, and found a hole there. Did Tim Layden, and he's going to get up to the 16-yard line.
Yeah, when we were talking about dynamics in today's game and what we might draw from them, you have a sophomore quarterback for Quincy, so that's inexperience. Here you're seeing a senior quarterback for North Quincy. They're going no huddle early. He's playing very aggressively, and nice job. Go ahead, John. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Win Tran gets the carry for North, but he's going to get brought down quickly. Coming up, number 81, Devontae Williams, making the initial hit for the Presidents.
Yeah, and Mark McKenna, one of the two-way players, the captain, senior captain for Quincy, was in the tackle as well. But I was saying, North Quincy, no huddle. They're trying to go right at it. They're coming out playing very aggressively.
3rd down and 5.
This is a big 3rd down here for both teams.
3rd and 5 now for the Red Raiders. Ball spot at the 18-yard line. Layden passes, and it's incomplete. Went in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, and it looked like it was intended for number 5, Tyler Lee.
Yeah, that's the weather right there, folks. It was a well-thrown ball by Layden. However, it hit Lee in his frozen hands. So you have a heavy, hard football on a cold day hitting frozen hands, and that's what's going to happen.
All right, so North Quincy now has a 4th and 5, and they're going to attempt a field goal. And coming out is number 6, Karen O'Driscoll. And it looks like they're going to spot the ball at the 25-yard line. So a 35-yard field goal attempt coming up for O'Driscoll. And we certainly know he has the leg for this, Jim.
He does, and if you look at the flag just died down. The wind dropped for a little bit there.
And the kick is up, and it's going to be no good. And I wonder, Jim, if there might have been some wind right there as well, because it looked like it just got held up in the air.
Yeah, you could see the ball. I don't know if we have a replay on that one, but you could see the ball. All right, watch this replay. You're going to see the ball as it crosses about the no replay. So we won't watch a replay on it, but I'll just tell you what happened. As the ball got to about the 5-yard line, you saw it just stop.
Yeah, just held up in the air, Jim. And it looked like O'Driscoll thought he had kicked it well, but it just died right up there. He just hit around the 5-yard line, and it fell short.
All right, so we'll see what the Presidents do here on their second possession. See if they can't recover from the early Ortiz injury and their Bakke first possession.
Quincy takes over at the 20-yard line. And it was a fumble on the play, and Marion Robinson is able to jump on it for the Presidents, and it's going to go all the way back to about the 15-yard line, make it the 16-yard line.
Yeah, Steinberg is not under center. He's essentially in a shotgun position. I think they call it a pistol in today's world, where he's not quite shotgun, but halfway between shotgun and under center. The snaps so far have not quite been there, and again, I attribute that to the condition of the football and the weather today. So that was a low snap, mishandled by the quarterback, and North Quincy all over it. So it's going to bring up a 2nd and 13. The second 3-yard loss for Quincy on first down.
Coming in a quarterback now is number 8, Colin Keaveney, senior for the Presidents. He gets a snap, looking to pass on first down, fires, and is incomplete. He had Andrew Rooney down at the 32-yard line, and Rooney could not bring it in.
Yeah, it was a beautifully thrown ball by Keaveney. And Rooney had a little bit of a problem. The boys have to adjust, and they're going through that adjustment period right now. Rooney is a terrific, talented receiver. He's had I think 350 yards in receptions this year, which is terrific in high school football. He's doing a great job, and that time the ball was there, and he just couldn't quite get it. He's not got gloves on, I observed, so that could have been a factor as well. It's a little
3rd and 14 now for the Presidents. Keaveney passes. He gets tipped and into the hands of Rooney. He has the first down anymore. Across the 30-yard line, still on his feet, and will go all the way up to the 39-yard line. Big run there by Andrew Rooney.
Yeah, great job. Watch the replay here, folks, and you're going to see Rooney react to the tip ball, as John said. Well, you see in the back end of it, a little blocking downfield. So nice job by the two seniors combining there, Keaveney and Rooney. And Quincy High has a first down.
And let's see, another pass there is caught by Rooney, and they're going to mark him down at the 41-yard line.
Yeah, quick slant route by Rooney. He just got in behind the linebackers, but North was on that quickly. North's made a little adjustment here. They've got Tim Layden out on Rooney, man-to-man.
2-yard gain, 2nd down and 8 now for the Presidents. Handoff goes up the middle to number 45 for the Presidents, Thomas Lee. And going to be no gain on the play. He was met there immediately by 2 or 3 Red Raider defenders.
It said Rooney does not have gloves on. He does. He just is out there in short sleeves. So we've got a 3rd and it says 8 on the scoreboard. It looks like 7 to me. So I'm going to say 3rd and 7 for Quincy. Another little dynamic here is Quincy had been huddling with the sophomore quarterback. With Layden, they go in no huddle. Calling the plays from the sidelines, but no huddle. So a little quicker pace here for the Presidents.
3rd and 7 for Quincy. Keaveney looking to pass, and it's going to be intercepted by Tim Layden at the 45-yard line. Layden has some space on the left sideline at the 10-5. Touchdown, North Quincy. Tim Layden with a pick 6 and gets North Quincy on the board here at 5:13 in the first quarter.
Oh, just a terrific play. Coach Craig put this game in the hands of his defense at the coin toss. He thought early on he wanted to take advantage of the jitters and the cold air. And watch this replay. You're going to see the defense step up. Tim Layden, well, we're catching the back end of it there. So our replay deck is a little cold. We got to get that defrosted and going. But terrific job by Matt Layden, the senior. He stepped in, ran it all the way back. And I'll remind our viewers that Layden is the long snapper here. And watch his snap. He tends to deliver it right on the money.
All right, O'Driscoll for the extra point. And he drills it through for the extra point. So 5:13 left to go here in the first quarter. And after the interception return for a touchdown, the Red Raiders lead 7-0.
Yeah, and you saw that absolutely perfect snap by Layden. Little things like that are going to be a big factor in today's game. Quincy's had a little problem with the snaps early on, Layden with a perfect snap on the point after. It's blasted through by Kieran O'Driscoll, one of the finest kickers in Eastern Mass. He's a terrific athlete, great kicker, and the Red Raiders on the board first, John.
Jim, this is the first game we've had our QATV truck down here at Veterans Memorial Stadium. As we mentioned in the pregame, and as everyone in the city knows, there was the renovations going on here at Veterans Memorial Stadium. So the games, for the most part, were down at Creedon Field. And we don't have the capability of bringing our truck down there for the power that it needs to run. So we're having just camcorder single cameras. So this is the first time we've had the whole crew back together here on Thanksgiving. So we want to thank them for coming out here so we can have a multi-camera shoot for everyone to enjoy here tonight.
Yeah, and it's a very hardy group as well, because I'll tell you, these are tough conditions. And when you're trying to stand still and steady a camera, it's exceptionally difficult, so great job by those folks.
It's going to be fielded by Thomas Lee at the 20-yard line. He has some trouble fielding. He picks it up, though, and gets a head of steam and will cross the 40 and get brought down at the 41-yard line at 5:05 left to go in the first.
Well, one of the things I've talked about in prior years is about coaches who make great game day adjustments and in-game adjustments. And Ryan Craig is off to a terrific start today. Recognizing the sun factor, that time the kick was right to Lee, but he's looking into the sun. He had a little problem handling it, but he did a terrific job of adjusting. Thomas Lee, he's a junior, a little more experienced, and he just picked up the ball, got a nice run back. So Quincy's going to start with good field position here, John, at the 42-yard line.
And a timeout's been called down the field by Quincy and Coach Kevin Carey. So again, 5:05 left to go in the first quarter. North Quincy on top now by a score of 7-0 with a timeout down on the field.
Yeah, I give Coach Carey real credit for making a quick adjustment as well. We should talk about that. I just talked about Coach Craig. Well, with the loss of TJ Ortiz, a little bit of a question about where the running game was going to go, and then the sophomore Steinberg still getting his feet under him in the game. Coach Carey made the quick adjustment, got Keaveney back in, the senior, and the decision has been proven to be a wise one, as Colin has really stepped up here and done a terrific job early on.
Our handoff goes over to the left side, and ball will go up to about the 44-yard line for Quincy. And look like it was number 6 for the Presidents, Isaiah Steinberg, on the run.
Down by number 66, Josh Dangora of the Red Raiders. It's going to bring up a 2nd down and 9 for the Quincy
Josh
Presidents.
Dangora in on the tackle for North Quincy. So it'll be 2nd down and 8 now for the Presidents. Getting ball at their own 44-yard line. Coming up on 4.5 minutes to go now here in the first quarter. Keaveney in the shotgun. Steinberg to his left. Steinberg gets the ball. No, he fumbles it, and ball is still loose, and it looks like North has recovered, and they have. North Quincy recovers the fumble.
Wow. Again, Coach Craig looking Alex Cora-like here, because his decisions are really being affirmed by his players. North Quincy on the turnover, the defense producing again, and now the North Quincy offense takes the field with terrific field position. They're inside the 45 of the Presidents, and they're breaking the huddle, looking to capitalize even further here in this first quarter on some great defensive play.
Tyler Lee recovered the fumble for North Quincy. They spot the ball at the Quincy High School 44-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Red Raiders. Layden looking to pass, being pressured. He's going to have to bring the ball down and run. And coming up to make the tackle from behind for the Presidents, number 54, Michael Levine. He was the man that came in for the initial pressure for the Presidents as well.
Yeah, terrific pressure in the backfield. McKenna again doing a great job. Brian O'Connor, both seniors. They pressured Layden, flushed him out of the pocket, and then brought him down for a 4-yard loss. So nice job by the Quincy defense, which is now stepping up here, John.
Yeah, I apologize. I was looking at the wrong roster for number 54. As you said, it was number 54, Mark McKenna, one of the captains for the Presidents. Handoff over to the right side now for North Quincy. And number 21, Eric Helmuth, gets it up to about the 44-yard line, back to the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Mark McKenna is one of the real leaders of the President's football team. And he's one of the guys on the field, and we have him on both sides. A senior playing both ways. He's not going to leave the field, and a terrific leader. Quincy only has 2 captains, McKenna and Andrew Rooney.
All right, pass over to the left side is incomplete. Liam Hines was downfield, but ball went through his hands, could not bring it in.
And my point on McKenna and Rooney, 2 great senior leaders. North Quincy's got senior leadership as well. You saw Tim Layden taking over early, so. And now coming out another senior, Kieran O'Driscoll, and he'll be punting the ball away, I believe, for the Red Raiders.
So the Quincy defense is able to hold off the Red Raiders after the turnover. And North Quincy goes 3 and outs, and they'll have to punt the ball away with now a 4th and 10.
Now watch O'Driscoll. I noticed earlier he kicked to the right side. If he punts to the right again, this is an attempt to take advantage of the sun. And what a terrific punt. It's going to be down just inside the 10-yard line. So the kicking of O'Driscoll all season has been a terrific factor, and he does it again for the Red Raiders. Quincy President's going to start with very challenging field position here with 2:45 to go in the first quarter. This is regrettably what we would call a slow-moving first quarter, John. You'd love to. I was thinking that with the weather conditions, we would at the very least have a running game which keeps the clock running, but been a lot of passes, fumbles, starts, and stops, so it's been a bit of a slow mover early on.
All right, ball spotted at the 10-yard line for the Presidents. First and 10 now for Quincy. 2:45 left to go in the first quarter. North Quincy on top by a score of 7-0. Colin Keaveney, the quarterback for the Presidents, hands the ball off to Tyler Lee. Actually, excuse me, Amarian Robinson, number 5, is back in at quarterback for Quincy High. And Lee, the ball carrier, will have no gain on that play.
Yeah, now one of the things they're doing here is because of the field position, they're inside the 10, and the issues with the football, they've got the quarterback starting right under center. So when you've got a focused running game, the reason you use the pistol is to get the ball in the hands of the running back more quickly. Let him have a view of what he's running into. With the quarterback starting right under center, that's going to slow everything down for this Quincy offense and make the running game a little more difficult to execute. So on that play, you saw that, John, as that little extra 2 seconds or so slowed things down and allowed the North penetration to come up with a big stop. Quincy, with a little confusion out there while I was talking, they had to call a timeout, John, because they're having a little issue with personnel and trying to get the right folks on the field here.
So as you said, Jim, Quincy is forced to call a timeout. That's their second timeout of the half, so the clock stops with 1:43 left to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, most folks regard timeouts to be a little less precious in the first half than in the second. If these are being called early on in the second half, there might be some concern because you like to have them at the end of the game. But here, they're being called appropriately by Coach Carey, trying to make sure that they get things set up properly here inside their own 10.
All right, Robinson under center for the Presidents. Steinberg with the carry over to the left side, has some space, across the 15, cuts back up into the 20, and has the first down for Quincy High School, getting brought down at the 23. Nice run there by Isaiah Steinberg,
Yeah, great job by Steinberg. You get outside, and I'll tell you, I think weather was a factor there. Tim Layden was outside, but he just looked awfully tight, and couldn't keep up with Steinberg. You may recall early on, John, that Layden was the one who strung Steinberg out on the first possession of Quincy and ran him right to the sideline. That time Layden couldn't get his legs going under him. He's been out on the field the whole game, and he was just standing for about a minute and a half while Quincy was in their timeout, and it showed. He was a little slow there on that play.
Steinberg again on the carry over to the left side. First down and more across the 40. And just does get tripped up, Jim. Had plenty of green space in front of him. And they're going to mark him down at the 39-yard line.
Great job by the Presidents. They came with a full house backfield. Carey sticking with a running game. And the offense now starting to get their legs under them. One of the things about one of the dynamics, one of the factors in today's game is the Quincy offensive line. We talked about them at the outset. Experience, and they've been very effective this year. We'll talk about the young men after this play.
Another full house backfield for the Presidents. 1st and 10 from their own 39. Steinberg with a carry over to the right side, cuts it back up the middle, and he's going to get a gain of 2 or 3. We'll see where they spot his forward progress. They say the 42.
Steinberg.
Quincy's offensive line, they've got a senior, Zach Carson, at center. The 2 guards are both seniors, Mark McKenna, whom we've talked about a lot today already, both sides of the ball, and Patrick Nazaro. The tackles are Jalen Varela, a senior, and then Kevin Ferrent, a junior. So that's the group across the line, and then they're supplementing that with Andrew Rooney, the tight end. And they brought in a couple of other guys in the tight end spot, John. Gone with a 7-man line, 3 backs, got a couple of blocking backs, and they've made an adjustment and totally abandoned any kind of semblance or any passing formations, and they're going right at it with the running game.
All right, that is the end of the first quarter. Quincy lets the clock run out. So at the end of one quarter of play, North Quincy 7 and Quincy 0. When we come back for the second quarter, Quincy High School will have a 2nd down and 7 from their own 42-yard line. I want to remind all of our viewers you can log on to Quincy Access TV's website at qatv.org to find out all the replay times for Thanksgiving Day football here in the city of Quincy. So again, log on to our website, qatv.org, and take a look at all the replay schedules for Thanksgiving football.
All right, the second quarter, John, should be interesting for this reason. North Quincy High will now have the wind at their backs, and they have their talented senior quarterback, Tim Layden, who loves to throw the ball, and he throws to an arsenal of sophomore receivers. So we'll see if the North Quincy passing game, which had been terrific all season, becomes a factor here in this second quarter. Right now, however, reinvigorated Quincy High running offense. They've got their big line out there. The line is starting to fire and create gaps. And we're seeing talented sophomore Isaiah Steinberg replicate some of his earlier season efforts here with some terrific running. So we're going to start the second quarter with Quincy in good field position at their 42 on the move. With us facing a 2nd and 7 here.
All right, the team switched sides, and Quincy now going from right to left, going down, try to score in the north end zone. Steinberg on the carry across the 50-yard line, has another first down for the Presidents, and for the first time, Quincy is in North Quincy territory.
Yeah, huge gap over on the right side of the line there. Terrific job by Quincy of blocking. They made a nice trap block on the right tackle. And we've got a replay here, and look at the gap that Steinberg goes through. Watch over on the right side. You see a terrific block, a huge gap. There's a great run. Nice job by our replay crew. And what Quincy's able to do now. I saw after that play, Coach Craig getting some new fresh legs in over there on the far side. And I'll tell you what, John, if Quincy can get its running game going and get things established, that could be a factor here in the conditioning of North Quincy, because their depth has always been a weakness and some of the kids may be wearing down here in this first half.
Our play clock is running down for Quincy. They're going to need to get it off quickly, and they just do. Thomas Lee on the carry over to the right side gets met behind the line of scrimmage, and he's going to get brought down for a loss of, let's see where they spot his forward progress, loss of 2 back to the Quincy 49.
Yeah, they got Steinberg out for a little break there, and they tried a little different approach. Coach Carey talked about Steinberg being kind of a slashing quick runner, and the young man who just had the ball, big number 45, Thomas Lee, more of a bulky bull-type running back. Well, that time North got some good penetration on him for a loss. Quincy's back on its side of the field at the 49, 2nd and 12.
Robinson under center, pitches it over to Steinberg, and Steinberg does a nice job to get a couple of yards back to the original line of scrimmage, and they'll bring up a 3rd and 10 now for the Presidents.
Yeah, Steinberg came to a complete stop there, evaded a tackle, and then accelerated very quickly to pick up 3. He was met in the backfield the same way Lee was, but did a nice job of reacting there. So Quincy continues to run right-handed, John. They're running to the right side. Coach Craig has noticed that. They've made a couple of adjustments and done a nice job of plugging the gaps over there. So let's see what happens on a big 3rd down play for the Presidents. 3rd and 9.
Ball at the North Quincy 48-yard line, as you said, 3rd and 9. Robinson back to pass, rolling out, and goes over to his right side, and it's going to be intercepted by Tyler Lee for the North Quincy Red Raiders, and it'll be North Quincy ball at their own 39-yard line.
Yeah, that's the second time that we've seen the wind as a little bit of a factor here. Watch this replay. You're going to see Robinson trying to float the ball out there. He got a little too much air under it, and the wind took over. The wind kicks that ball right down, and Tyler Lee steps in for the second big turnover of this first half. North Quincy with a huge interception, John. Just as Quincy had started to establish its running game, comes to a jarring halt on the interception by Lee. Now we've got big number 7, Tim Layden, and the North offense out there.
Layden hands it off, and ball carrier's going to get it about 3 yards on the play. Make it 4. They spot him at the 44-yard line.
That's Win Tran. We weren't sure if we were going to see him. This young man, Win Tran, number 32, absolute phenomenon of an athlete, but he's got a very, severely injured ankle. So it's terrific to see him out there. We hope he doesn't do any further damage. He's going to be a little balky there because of his inability to cut like he's capable, but there he goes again.
All right, Tran gets the carry yet again. He crossed the 45, and they're going to spot his forward progress down at the 47-yard line.
So Tran, 2 runs, picks up about 7 over the course of those 2 runs, and it's going to be a 3rd and a long 2, we'll call it.
Red Raiders need to get to their own 49-yard line for the first down. And Layden's going to keep it himself, has himself on the right side and across the 50-yard line into Quincy territory, still on his feet, and will get pushed all the way down to the 36-yard line. Big run there by Tim Layden.
Boy, I'll tell you what, that young man is really stepping up huge for the Red Raiders. Layden with a great decision. Watch this replay. He's going to fake the handoff to Tran, and then he's going to follow his blocking back, and once he sees a little green, he takes off. He picks up an extra 6 yards after his initial contact there, and just a terrific run by Layden. Great leadership by the young man early on in this first half.
1st and 10 for the Red Raiders at the Quincy 36. Tran over to the left side. Lots of space at the 20-yard line. At the 10, 5, dives for the end zone. Touchdown, North Quincy. Win Tran, a 36-yard touchdown run.
Boy, what a run by Tran. It's great to see him out there, first of all. Nice to see the young man, and the ankle injury was gone once he saw all that green space in front of him. Watch this replay. You're going to see number 32 get the ball. And watch to the left of your screen, the huge hole I got to tell you, I missed the guy blocking on the outside there. I don't know if you can check in the truck. Who was the left? It's either a tight end or a wideout who just totally drove the Quincy defensive player off the play and opened up a huge hole for Win Tran. I wish I caught his number.
Well, we'll see if we can cue up that replay again after the extra point. Kieran O'Driscoll out for the extra point for the Red Raiders. Snap the hole. The kick is blocked by the Presidents. And ball will be dead. Quincy recovers the fumble. And nice job by the Presidents to come in, get the pressure, and block the extra point.
That's huge for the Presidents. I give them great credit on that play. Kieran O'Driscoll, as I said, a premier kicker. Well, Presidents got in on him. They blocked that extra point, and that's just a terrific job by the Quincy Presidents after a tough run. Yeah, we're going to watch the replay on the run again, and I hope if you watch to the left, watch the blocking. I'm going to see who that is. It's number 6. It's
Kieran O'Driscoll.
Yeah, the kicker. He absolutely drove the defensive end for Quincy off just all that. He was about 15 yards behind the play, or behind the line rather, when O'Driscoll was done with him. Just a terrific job of blocking by O'Driscoll. And Win Tran cut up inside that block and had nothing but green space. So nice job in the truck. Can we get a temperature report from inside the truck, gang, or what?
Inside the truck is probably a balmy 50-something degrees, whereas right now I have 87 degrees.
Well, hang in there. I hope you have T-shirts.
I have 16 degrees right now here in the city of Quincy, even with the sun out.
Yeah, I will say, though, that our booth is working well as far as blocking the wind. There was one game we were up Creedon where I spent most of the evening pretty much whining, I admit it, because we weren't in a booth. It was windy, cold, there was a little bit of precipitation, and the conditions were horrible. I felt like a cameraman, frankly. And so now we're in a booth, we're enclosed, and our poor camera people still facing conditions that are tough. It's 15 degrees and a steady wind, so. Well, the Red Raiders are happy with what they're looking at here. They're up 13-0, 6:28 to go here in this first half.
All right, O'Driscoll will kick it deep, and it'll be a touchback. So Quincy will start at their own 25-yard line. Jim, we mentioned numerous times here today that it's been 15 degrees and very frigid. I believe this is the coldest game we've done since the playoff game between Quincy and Mansfield back in, I believe it was 2003, when I think the temperature at kickoff was below zero. And it was that was easily the coldest game I know I've been a part of. But QATV stuck it out for all that. Our volunteers were great that day. And we always joke about in the studio that Mansfield TV, they came and left at halftime because it was too cold for their crew. So we were always proud of that.
Well, I cannot claim to be proud over anything because I skipped that game. I wasn't even Mansfield cable worthy. So.
All right, Quincy High School, 1st and 10 from their own 25-yard line. And Isaiah Steinberg will get the carry over to the right side, and he'll get brought down at the 30. And Steinberg went down hard, and I'm not too sure if he's going to need some assistance.
I got to tell you something. Number 11 for North Quincy, Liam Hines. A very clean tackle, but man, what a brutal tackle that was. He just came in and he hit Steinberg right about thigh high and completely wiped him out. That was a very clean tackle. Liam's now clapping there. I happen to know Liam a little bit. He's a real gentleman. He was one of the ball boys in 8th grade or freshman year or something, and he was a terrific ball boy, and he's a better football player, frankly. But what a tackle. Perfectly clean, but in today's conditions, I'm sure that Steinberg took a bang in his quad area that's going to take a while to shake off. So he's gone to the sidelines. He's trying to walk it off. And we'll see how Quincy reacts to the loss of their tailback, Isaiah Steinberg.
Gain of 5 on the play for Quincy. 2nd down and 5 now. Robinson pass over to right side, and it's picked off again by North Quincy. And I believe coming up with it was Liam Hines, and it was Liam Hines with the interception, and back-to-back interceptions for North Quincy.
2 plays in a row for Hines. And let's see what the offense can do. Watch the replay. You're going to see a pass that sails a little bit.
I believe it got tipped right there by Andrew Rooney just a little bit as well.
Yeah, and a terrific job by Hines. A great focus. I've mentioned the sun factor. If you look at the shadow as Layden goes out to the huddle, you can see his shadow there. Well, that's the result of the fact that the sun is to the right of the screen coming down hard on the field. You see the folks in the north end zone there looking right into that harsh sun. Well, Liam Hines was looking into that sun when he picked that ball off. Huge interception. Big turn of events to North. We'll see if they can capitalize.
All right, North Quincy takes over at their own 33-yard, the Quincy 33-yard line. Wintran gets the carry over to the right side, and he'll get brought down at the 30, so gain of 3 for North Quincy.
Yeah, very, very gritty gain as well. Tran was hit in the backfield, but just kept driving his legs, so.
Coming up on 5 minutes and 20 seconds in the second quarter, North Quincy on top 13-0. 2nd down and 7, Wintran on the carry. Nice spin move by Tran. He'll get to the 25-yard line where he'll be brought down by Quincy.
Yeah, that's going to bring up a 3rd and 2. And importantly, although North is staying in its hurry-up offense, as a result of the running game, they're keeping the clock running. Because one of the goals now for North Quincy is to get to the locker room with this lead. They'd love to keep Quincy off the scoreboard in the first half. They're doing an excellent job here. The running game keeps the clock running. They're steadily advancing the ball down the field. So it's a big possession for both teams here because Quincy would love to come up with a stop.
3rd and 2. Layden has it over to the left side, has the first down and more. He'll cross the 15 and he'll get brought down at the 12-yard line. Tim Layden saw a hole to the left side, Jim. He exploded through it, as we'll see here on the replay.
Yeah, let's watch this replay and watch this tackle. I got to tell you, there was just one white shirt between Layden and the end zone. And I missed his number, but what a solid tackle. Great tackle by the player for Quincy High.
All right, 1st and 10 from the 12-yard line now for North Quincy. Wintran on the carry over to the right, and he fights his way forward, Jim, for a gain of maybe 1.
Number 32, Wintran on the carry. Taken down by number 16 of the President.
That time, Williams really shot the gap.
Under 4 minutes now to go here in the second quarter. Again, North Quincy on top 13-0. Jim, we should mention our first-time director, Peter Doherty, down in the truck, doing a great job here today for us, stepping up to make the challenge. We want to thank Peter here today.
Yeah, I'd like him to turn his mic off.
All right, Tran on the carry up the middle, crosses the 5, still on his feet, fighting way forward, and touchdown, North Quincy!
Wow.
Wayne Tran
What an effort by
gets some
Tran.
help from his friends, and North Quincy punches it in for 6 points.
I'll tell you, when you see Wintran come out of that cluster, it looks almost as if he can't believe what he just did. He's raising his hands to the sky and just completely exuberant. Wintran, and what a run. Here's the replay. Watch this run, folks. And watch Tran after the run. He will not be stopped there.
Got a nice push there at the end there. Liam Hines came in, as well as Alex Adanasoff to help push up as well. But Tran just moving his feet, moving those legs, Jim, and he punches it in. Great effort there by Win Tran. An 11-yard touchdown run, and North Quincy's forced to call a timeout. They didn't have enough men on the field, it looks like.
I got to tell you, Liam Hines, he's only a sophomore, John, but man, is he having a game for himself. He's a terrific athlete. I had mentioned that after one game at North Quincy. John took a break while I talked to grab his iced coffee, and
It is
wet
ice.
his voice again, and it's emphasis on ice. But Hines is having a heck of a game. You mentioned him helping Tran with some of the move the pile blocking, but the Red Raiders, there's a number of them just stepping up, and we'll mention as many of these names as we can, but Liam Hines has just had a couple of big plays here. He had the interception. The interception followed a big tackle, a clean tackle, completely clean on Steinberg, but it ended up forcing Quincy to adjust what it wanted to do offensively. That was probably a factor in the interception. And then, boom, down comes the Red Raider offense. They punch it in, so it's 19-0 here. And, John, it looks like it looks like they might be going for 2 here. Let's see, they are. They're going for 2 after the block of the earlier point after. Makes sense. Let's see how they do. Layden and Tran in the backfield.
Layden keeps it, and ball gets thrown, and it will be incomplete. Layden was getting wrapped up by Thomas Lee, and he tried to throw it into the end zone, but it did not make it. It was incomplete. So unsuccessful 2-point conversion, but nonetheless, with 3:27 to go in the second quarter, North Quincy leads the Presidents by a score of 19-0. Red Raiders on top.
Hey, John, I'd just like to mention, you introduced me to our camera person up on the booth here, our prime game camera. It's the view you have right now, and she's really done a terrific job today. It's the first time I've met her on this camera, so maybe you can talk a little bit. It's a difficult camera to operate, and it's the one we focus on for the game, but she's done a great job.
Yeah, Sasha Goldberg up here. First time on game camera, so we want to thank Sasha for volunteering. I mentioned we had some spots open, including this position up here in the booth, and she said, I'd love to do that. Sign me up for it. So volunteered for it right from the get-go. So we want to thank Sasha for helping out here today. Also on camera, we have Frank Hogan and Maureen Conway on our runaway cameras. And down on the field, we have Scott Daniels and Matt Coughlin. All of those hardy souls braving the cold weather here today to bring all the shots. So we want to thank them. In the truck, we also have Peter Doherty. We also have Anna El Torre and Fred Shepard in the truck, and our engineer, Chris Potter.
Yeah, Peter Doherty's normally on the main game camera, and he's directing today's game. Peter's a terrific resource to have nearby because he's from a North Quincy football family. He's a veteran himself. He knows the game, and he'll often come up with insight or two to share with us. But he's doing a great job of overseeing things here in the 87-degree truck. Good of him to step up and take on that role.
All right, Karen O'Driscoll will again drill it into the end zone for the touchback.
Yeah, that's a big factor that, O'Driscoll takes away the kick return for the opposition. And we mentioned before in his first field goal attempt, he certainly had the capability under normal conditions to have kicked that ball, but the wind took over on the field goal attempt. So his kickoffs in this second quarter with the wind at his back have been huge. And as we mentioned on at least one play, his blocking as well. He's a complete football player, notwithstanding the fact he primarily has kicking duties.
3:27 to go in the second quarter. Red Raiders 19, the Presidents 0. Quincy takes over on their own 25-yard line, 1st and 10. Marion Robinson under center, hands it off, and Isaiah Steinberg cannot go anywhere. He's going to get hit for a loss of 1.
North is sticking with its man coverage when Quincy comes out in a passing formation, and they put Layden on Andrew Rooney, and Tim has done a terrific job. Andrew Rooney has had a great season. He's doing very well today on both sides of the ball, but primarily defensively, because Layden has really stepped up and been out there as soon as Andrew breaks the line. Layden's all over him.
So as I mentioned, loss of 1 on the last play for the Presidents. 2nd down and 11 now for Quincy. Robinson, the late handoff to Steinberg. Steinberg takes it, and he's met immediately there by Michael Levine, number 54 for North Quincy. And Steinberg will get a gain of 2 or 3 on the play. I think they're going to mark him down at the at the 28-yard line.
Yeah, it's good to hear the name Mike Levine mentioned, John. Levine has had a monster season for North Quincy High School. He's only a junior, and he'll be one of the big leaders on the team next year, but he's an undersized lineman, and all that means for Michael Levine is he can get lower than anyone he's up against because, frankly, he's manhandled most of the people he's played against this season. Mike's had a great year for the Red Raiders, and today's been very solid on the line. I'm glad you mentioned his name there because I'd failed to bring him up yet, and I was prepared to say at the beginning of the game he'd be a big factor today.
Robinson has nowhere to go. He's being pressured from the outside by North Quincy's Josh Dangora. He had to step up into the pocket, and he's going to get brought down there. Coming up was Ryan Kelson, one of the captains for North Quincy, to bring him down.
Yeah, and as soon as that tackle was made, Ryan Craig was out on the field calling a timeout because you've got Quincy High School now forced to punt into a strong headwind from its own 25. Craig knows that North Quincy could really deliver a dagger here with a final touchdown going into the locker room. They're ahead 19-0. Love to put some more points on the board here. Number 6, the big kicker, Kieran O'Driscoll, could be a factor with a wind at his back. And then North Quincy, as you said, has deferred, so they're going to get the ball coming out of the locker room as well. So that stop was huge for the Red Raiders. They've got their punt returner back just beyond his 50-yard line, so they're expecting good field position. High snap.
High snap over the head of Andrew Rooney. He goes all the way into the end zone. He's going to try to run it out, Jim, and he tries to kick it. Ball comes loose. The ball was blocked by North Quincy. We'll see if they recover for the touchdown. And touchdown, North Quincy on the block punt.
Wow. What a turn of events there. So things just continue going North Quincy's way. Andrew Rooney took the high snap. He tried to make a play out of it. Tried to get the punt away. Was unable to do so. It was blocked. And North recovered in the end zone for a touchdown. If you watch the replay, you're going to see the snap goes over Rooney's head. He had no chance at it. Now you see him trying to recover it. He's going to try to get the punt off, and I missed again. We're having trouble because of the way the lights hit in the uniform, seeing the number, And I'm not sure who made that block. It was 60-something.
That or it might have been Alex Adanasoff, number 55. I could be wrong on that. We'll see if we can get confirmation on that. But Adanasoff is being congratulated down the sidelines. Our extra point attempt now by North Quincy is good by O'Driscoll, and he drills it. Yes. So now with 2:06 to go in the second quarter, North Quincy increases their lead 26-0.
That football's over in the bus yard, and you're right. You can tell from the dynamics on the sideline. Everyone is all over senior Alex Adanasoff. So, terrific job by the Red Raiders. They've stretched their lead out to 26-0 here in this first half, and this is certainly not what I expected coming in today, John. This is really, really remarkable performance so far by the Red Raiders. The weather conditions were going to be a factor today, and we just weren't sure which way it would cut. Well, quite frankly, it's really hurt the Quincy High team. They have not been able to get on track. Had a couple little issues that they've really paid mightily for, and they're looking at a huge 26-0 gap here. A lot of hands on hips and hanging shoulders to the presidents. Coach Carey's going to have some work cut out for him as he heads to the locker room here. We've got 2:06 to go, John, in a fairly slow-moving first half, but that's because there's been a lot of action that has stopped the clock, frankly.
All right, so it's at 2:06. North Quincy on top, 26-0. And Kieran O'Driscoll will be getting ready to kick it away. And he kicks it deep. We'll see if Quincy's going to be able to field it, and they do. Aiden O'Connell takes it at his own 2-yard line over to the right side, trying to stay in bounds, tips toes to stay in bounds. And nice job there by Aiden O'Connell. He'll get brought down at the 25, I believe.
Yeah, you love to see that type of effort. Aiden is a senior, trying to make something happen, dancing up that sideline, the far sideline, trying to get the ball out. When he first received the ball, I thought that perhaps he should have let it go into the end zone because he caught it right around the 2. But then you realize he took off, he went up that sideline hard, he's trying to make something happen. So you like to see the senior leaders for your team step up, and that's what O'Connell was doing there. Trying to make a play, trying to get some wind back in the sails of the Presidents here after a rough first half.
They say O'Connell stepped out of bounds at the 19-yard line, so that's where Quincy will take over, 1st and 10. Robinson, quick pass is tipped up into the air and incomplete. Derek Little, number 80, was the intended receiver for Quincy, and he could not bring in. He got hit as the ball was going right into him.
Yeah, if you watch this replay, Quincy's trying to run just a little quick slant, get the receiver behind the linebackers, and this football is just too hard, too cold, and too tough to catch here. It's on a quick slant. They're throwing the ball hard, and that time the ball bounced in the air, and Quincy caught a break, quite frankly. They've got 4 wideouts here. They're still going at it. Coach Carey is a little risky because passes stop the clock. There's 1:50 to go, and North would love to get the ball back again.
Robinson over to number 80, Derek Little again. Passes complete, and they're going to say it's up to the 27-yard line.
Yeah, nice job by both players. Derek Little for Quincy on the reception, and a terrific hit by Tyler Lee, the sophomore, on the stop.
They spot the ball at the 26-yard line, so a 7-yard gain for Quincy. 1:15 left to go now in the half. Brings up a 3rd and 3 for the Presidents. 4 receivers set now for Quincy High School. Marion Robinson, the quarterback, in the shotgun. Thomas Lee to his right. Lee gets the handoff, goes right up the middle, fights his way forward. He's going to be right at the first down marker. Coming up to make the tackle, Jackson Zhao for North Quincy. And we'll see if they give Quincy the first down. And they're going to spot the ball down at the 28-yard line, just shy of the first down.
Yeah, I think he's going to be just shy. This is going to be interesting for Coach Carey. Frankly, the punt, if they were to punt, is going to be dangerous. Given the conditions, what happened on the last play. And if they were to try to run the ball, I think the decision's got to be the run here, maybe starting from under center, because anything else is a little risky. If they pick up the first down on 4th and short, all that's really left at this point, I would say, is to run the clock out, because they're going into the wind in tough conditions, and it's going to be very hard for them to go 60-plus yards down the field. So we're going to expect Quincy to come out here and maybe go for it and let the clock run down. The downside is if they don't get it, North's going to have great field position, and this is where big number 6, O'Driscoll, becomes a factor. So it's going to be a very interesting play. It's an important one for Quincy. Even though they're not looking at putting points on the board anymore, I think it's important for Quincy to pick up this first down.
All right, Quincy comes out to go for it on 4th and less than 1. They have a full house backfield. Robinson under center, trying to draw North Quincy off sides.
Yeah, very long count. It's going to be a penalty flag dropped. Oh, maybe.
And they're going to say it
It's
was
like procedure.
Yeah, it looks.
So one of the Quincy kids flinched,
The first
apparently.
stop penalty against Quincy.
So now we're looking at
penalty.
4th and 6.
Yeah,
It's a
first
whole
down
different
and 6.
dynamic for Quincy, and a really tough one. They're going to bring out Rooney, and I believe they're going to try to punt it away. So hopefully they get a good snap this time. And Rooney's been a very effective punter for the Red Raiders all season.
.40 seconds left to go in the half. Well, Quincy, is forced to punt. Good snap, and Rooney gets a nice kick away. You can see the ball just hold up there. Ball comes loose. North Quincy touched the ball.
I'll tell you, welcome to high school football. That was probably a mistake to touch the football, and we'll see if the President's recovered here. Looks like it's going to be close. Who's got the ball?
Officials still talking. They have
They're
not made a
huddling.
signal. And Quincy recovered the ball. Quincy's going to recover at the 36.
We got to give Quincy credit there. Two guys in particular who really executed. Senior Brian O'Connor was the long snapper on that play. He delivered a beauty right between the numbers to Andrew Rooney. Rooney got off a nice punt into the wind, however, and the wind did to the Rooney punt what it had done earlier in the first half to the O'Driscoll point after. Knocked it right back, and the little shift in dynamics caused an inexperienced Red Raider, who's normally a downfield blocker, to be right there on the ball, and he dove on it. Missed, and Quincy recovered. So Quincy's going after it, John. They've got wideouts here.
Robinson passed downfield, and it is incomplete. Was looking for Devin Desmond.
Pass is incomplete, intended for number 32.
Yeah, Liam Hines was on the coverage. Quincy High's looking for a flag on that play because there was some contact. And one of the officials said the ball was not catchable, and therefore no flag. The sideline official has dropped a flag. The officials conferred. Let's see what the call is. They're saying no penalty, no flag on the play because of the fact the ball was not catchable. Kind of soared over Hines and the receiver's head. So Liam got away with one there. And there's 21 seconds left. And to their credit, the President's continuing to go after it here, trying to make something happen.
So we second down and 10 now for the Presidents. Ball spotted at their own 37-yard line. And as you said, 21 seconds remaining in the half. North Quincy on top by a score of 26-0. Marion Robinson, quarterback for Quincy, in the shotgun. 4 receivers set for the Presidents. Derek Little goes in motion. Robinson gets hit as he passes, and it will fall incomplete. Coming up with the pressure, number 41, Michael Gordon for the Red Raiders.
I'll tell you what, you would not know. Watch this replay, and you'd have no idea that there's little time left, and basically you could be running out the clock here. No one told Mike Gordon or the Quincy High offense that, because Gordon just got in. A totally clean run at the quarterback, put a hard hit on a Marion Robinson just after he released the ball. The ball went out to the flat, wobbling as a result of the hit. And it's going to bring up a 3rd and 10 with 14 seconds to go. Robinson's coming back to the huddle, and he's looking like a guy who just took a wallop.
Along with the combined band of North Quincy High School.
3rd and 10 now for Quincy.
Halftime, full of action.
Presidents again come out with a 4-receiver set. Robinson in the shotgun. 14 seconds remaining in the half. Robinson looking to pass downfield over the middle and gets intercepted by North Quincy. Alex Adanasoff on the interception. And he's going to get brought down at the 43-yard line with 3 seconds to go.
We'll see what Coach Craig does here. They may just take a knee given the field position. Watch the replay, and you're going to see Adanasoff playing kind of a center field. Just step right into this one. Nice job. So the North Quincy defensive backfield picks up its 3rd interception in the first half, John. That's quite a stat, particularly when you're going up against a team with a strong running game. So there are less opportunities here. They've really played quite well on defense here, and the Red Raiders are going to just take a knee here and get to the locker room with a 26-0 lead in the first half. Who would have thunk it?
Well, Jim, as you said, North Quincy comes off the field leading Quincy 26-0. And we're going to take a quick break here as we head to the half. So again, North Quincy 26, Quincy 0. We'll take a timeout and back with second half coverage in just one moment. Welcome back, everyone, to Veterans Memorial Stadium. We're at the half. North Quincy leads Quincy by a score of 26-0. It's been a tough go for the Quincy Presidents here today, and all their drives, Jim, have resulted in turnovers. There's been 3 fumbles and 4 interceptions. That's really been the story of the day.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that, John. And I didn't see this coming, frankly. I thought what we were going to see was a focused, concerted running game by Quincy High School, and that really hasn't been there. I give a lot of credit to North Quincy High School, which has performed very well in tough conditions that did not match their type of more balanced attack. They've really done a terrific job today of ball in the air, ball on the ground, and the defense has been remarkable. It's played a major factor in the turnovers, certainly not all of it. Some of it's been self-inflicted by the Presidents, but North Quincy has done a great job defensively on creating opportunities. The Red Raiders have capitalized when those opportunities have been there. Now we got to see how the Presidents and their resilience can perhaps be a factor here in the second half. They've got to hang in there. They're kicking off into a headwind. The early decisions of Coach Ryan Craig couldn't have been any better. They won the coin toss. He decided to defer, and now the Red Raiders are going to get the ball with the wind at their backs with a 26-0 lead. So this first possession is going to be a big message for both teams. If Quincy can come up with a stop and then make something happen, they'll send a message that this is going to be a different second half to the Red Raiders. If North Quincy can continue their dominating effort here, be very difficult for the Presidents. So there's a short kick.
Devontae Williams kicks it away for the Presidents. Going to be fielded by number 3, Jamal Maximilian of the Red Raiders at his own 30-yard line. And he's going to be able to go nowhere. Nice pursuit there by Quincy High School. And that's where North Quincy will begin at their own 30-yard line to begin the third quarter.
Well, both teams came out a little chippy there. There was a lot of banging going on, so you can tell the coaches had a lot to say in the locker room. I'm sure Coach Craig's message was, do not let up. Don't let these guys back in the game. And for the blue and white Presidents, the message was, let's get on them early and see if we can turn things around here, because if North can score 26.5, perhaps Quincy can as well. So let's see what happens here in this first possession.
All right, Wintran on the carry for North Quincy. He'll get up to about the 33-yard line before he is brought down. Jim, my iPad has just died.
I don't know if it died so much as it relented to the conditions.
It
Yeah.
very well may have.
I've had my iPhone, but I've kept it tucked in to something close to my body. I think that the temperature, I know those are temperature sensitive. And in fairness to it, it served very well and ably in the first half. Might be a Quincy High thing. They wanted to kill off all those stats from the first half.
They very well may have, and they
Yeah.
were successful in doing that. All right, Wintran again on the carry for North Quincy on 2nd down and 7. And Tran will get a gain of 1 over to the right side up to the 34-yard line.
Well, good job by the President defense here, doing what their coach wanted them to do. They're stepping right up. You see number 54, Mark McKenna, there to the left of your screen. He's been in on both plays here coming out of the locker room. So defense stepping up for the Presidents, and they would love to have a 3-and-out here. It would help to reinvigorate a moribund Quincy President squad. So let's see what happens here on 3rd and 7.
Layden looking to pass. Pump fakes, is going to run it instead. Cuts back up the middle of the field. Has the first down and more. Tim Layden crossed the 50-yard line into Quincy territory all the way up to the 46-yard line. What a run there by Tim Layden. He loses a shoe at the same time, Jim.
Yeah, that was some spectacular stuff by Layden. I'll tell you, you look for what seniors are going to step up here in this big game, and Tim Layden has done that and more. Terrific decision. He was looking downfield. He saw he didn't have anything, tucked the ball, and what a terrific run on 3rd and long.
Let's take a look at the replay, Jim, of the last play. And you can see Layden there, and he's going to lose his shoe right there. Loses his shoe and keeps on going down the field for the big first down for the Red Raiders. So ball now at the Quincy High School 46-yard line, 1st and 10. Layden will keep it himself again, running over to the left side, and he's fighting his way forward. An early whistle, and they're going to spot him down at the 42-yard line after a gain of about 5 yards.
Well, faced with the 3rd and long, it's very clear that senior Tim Layden said, I'm going to have nothing to do with letting the Presidents back in this ball game. Man, has he stepped up. North Quincy is knocking on the door of the President's 40, looking at a 2nd and 6. They've got some momentum coming out of the locker room, and they're doing what Coach Craig hoped they'd do. Let's see if the President defense can't step up here and come up with a stop.
Wintran on the carry up the middle for North Quincy, across the 30-yard line, and he'll have a first down for North Quincy up to the 28-yard line of Quincy High School.
Enough for a Red Raider first down. Taken down by.
Watch this replay, folks. There you see Tran with a nice cutback. He gets downfield. Now watch at the end of the replay if we keep it running for a minute. Watch number 6. Well, you keep that running. Oh. Kieran O'Driscoll took a little practice kick at the end of the play there. And where would you see that but in high school football? You've got the place kicker out there playing both ways, doing all kinds of things, including trying to keep himself loose.
Wintran on the carry, 1st and 10 for North Quincy. Nice cutback up there by Tran. Crosses the 25-yard line, and they're going to spot him down at the 24.
Yeah, North's happy with this, John. They're coming out of the locker room. They're running down that precious clock time. Presidents would love to be in possession of the ball and try to get some points on the board, but instead they're playing defensively. You see right there, offensive coach with the quarterback calling the plays. They're taking their time. They're really running down the clock now, as opposed to the first half when North was in a hurry up, no huddle. They were calling everything right on the field there and trying to get up and down the field quickly. Totally different offense this second half. And Wintran not showing any signs of that ankle injury, John.
2nd down and 7 for North Quincy. Tran again on the carry. Trying to cut it outside, crosses the 20-yard line, and it'll get brought down at the 15 for another first down for the Red Raiders.
Yeah, big first down for the Red Raiders. Clock keeps running. we're under 6 minutes, so North Quincy's going to come out, and they're going to run 5:30 off this clock easy, which is half the quarter. So not what the presidents wanted to see.
Well, as you said, Jim, clock is coming up on 5 minutes and 30 seconds to go here in the third quarter.
There it is, the halfway point. We just clicked to it, and a terrific job of running down the clock here. North, even if it's 3 and out here, they're going to be down around 3 minutes, and this is all really important time here because now it's as important for North Quincy to run that clock down as it is to do anything else with their 26-0 lead.
1st and 10 for North Quincy at the Quincy 15-yard line. Tran on the carry, and he's going to get hit in the backfield. Coming up to make the initial hit was number 76, Jalen Varela, and multiple flags thrown on a late hit.
Yeah, we got a guy coming in late to the pile, and he is going to be penalized for that. That's unfortunate, especially the way Tran's been running today, because for Win Tran, being caught up in the pile is just the start of his run for him. He's picked up yards after contact consistently, but that one was clearly just way too late. And it's unfortunate. This has been a well-played, relatively flag-free game. Although Quincy's had its turnovers, both sides have played penalty-free football. And so that's a tough one for the Presidents to take here as the clock continues to tick down with the Red Raiders now inside the 10 of the Presidents, John. Really looking to put some cement on this victory here.
1st and goal now for North Quincy. Ball spotted at the 8-yard line.
He's got 4 wideouts. He's got 5 empty backfield with 5 wideouts here.
Layden's going to keep it in front of himself. Crosses the 5-yard line, fighting his way forward. Touchdown, North Quincy and Tim Layden.
North Quincy Red Raider, touchdown.
Well, I'll tell you what, they just completely spread the field, and then Tim Layden runs it in for a touchdown, and North Quincy stretched it out to 32-0. John, I saw you checking earlier. We're quickly heading into the worst margin error, worst margin ever area, and I see a 34-0 in 1941 where Quincy beat North, and we're going to go to, it appears we're going to go to 33-0 on this kick here.
So scanning, have to give credit here to the Quincy Sun as Karen O'Driscoll nails the extra point. And some whistles are blowing down the field, so there's a flag thrown on the play. We'll see if that affects it. And
no.
So no, it was against Quincy, so the extra point is good. So the score is now 33-0, North Quincy on top. And, Jim, scanning real quick, the biggest victory I see here was a 53-0 by the Presidents in 1969.
Well, I'm not sure that Coach Craig would have the appetite or desire to vindicate that loss, but, yeah, that looks like that's the record breaker. And you're pointing now to the North Quincy 20, Quincy nothing score in 92. That was the Super Bowl year. We've got a 24-0 in 76, which was another great year in North Quincy football. So, be interesting to see.
Well, for the most part, Jim, we're in uncharted territory here. Normally, this game is extremely close. We've had a number of one-point games, usually almost always within a touchdown. Is this game? And right now at 33-0, it's been quite a while since we've seen a game like this.
Yeah, and you recall last year's exciting finish, the 7-6 game. That was a terrific football game that came right down to the final play, the final yard. is really something. So this is unexpected, and we'll see. I don't know what Coach Craig's sense of history is, but I don't expect we'll be challenging. We'll be going back to check that score. Was it 53-0? Is that it?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. Let's hope we're not heading back to check that one. That was back in the day. Mayor Koch was alluding to this earlier, where now they all know each other. That was back in the era when the folks from one end of the city had nothing or little to do with the folks from the other end. So,
all right, is another touchback for Kieran O'Driscoll. So the Quincy Presidents will take over at their own 25-yard line.
yeah, and you mentioned the Quincy Sun. They do a terrific job every year. Bob Bosworth and the staff, great job of getting all the information about the teams and their season out. The Thanksgiving Day Quincy Sun is always a collector's item for the seniors, certainly, and anyone else with any interest in the football programs at the schools. So this is really a nice and very helpful item to have. We have it up in the booth with us every year.
All right, Quincy will hand it off to number 6, Isaiah Steinberg, and he'll pick up the first down for the Presidents. He crosses the 35 to the 36-yard line, so a nice 11-yard run there by Steinberg.
Yeah, nice job by Isaiah. We talked earlier about resilience, and like to see this Quincy offense. They're breaking the huddle with a little bit of snap to it, and Steinberg with a nice big gain picks up a first down. Let's see if Quincy can march down the field.
1st and 10 for the Presidents at the 36. Steinberg again on the carry, and this time it's going to be no gain. Multiple flags come out onto this play, and temperatures are rising, Jim, down on the field as players are being separated. The Quincy bench came out immediately as that play was coming down, and I'm not too sure what happened, but coaches and players came out in the field pointing to something, and I'm not too sure what it was.
Well, one young man in a white shirt has just completely lost his composure. There's a boy on the field. It may be that they saw something happen there because, yeah, the Quincy coaching staff, which is a good solid group of people. They've been together for a while. They're all out there, and they're all pretty upset about what occurred. This is not the type of thing we generally go to the replay on, so we'll leave that one alone. But there's a boy on the field injured, and the flags are all around him, so I'm sure the circumstances surrounding that play are what people are upset about. So certainly regrettable. We saw one of the North players being taken off the field and being spoken to by the coaching staff. And you just never know what happens in these circumstances, John. It's very difficult because you spend the entire day getting the boys all fired up into, a wild frenzy, and then hold them accountable for how they act on the field. It's a hard balance. Well, the young man getting up is the ball carrier, Isaiah Steinberg, who got walloped again. I'm not quite sure what happened on the hit. Coach Craig is out on the field talking to the officials, finding out what they saw and why they threw the penalty flag. Now he's returning to the sideline. Been very impressed with Ryan Craig, John, because he spent time all season with his players. He's been a very nurturing coach. He does a great job. They've taken one of the captains, Tim Layden, off the field. Craig's talking to him now, so I'm sure he's filling him in on what the officials had to say, and he's going to have the captain make sure that he takes control when out on the field and that the players conduct themselves properly.
All right, well, there was a 15-yard penalty against North Quincy for the personal foul, so that's going to move the ball now to the North Quincy 49-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Presidents.
Stevening's pass
And Colin Keithney is in now for Quincy High School, and the pass is going to be downfield and complete at the North Quincy 30-yard line. And Devin Desmond brings it down for the Presidents.
Nice reception in traffic by Desmond. We're going to watch the replay, even though Colin Keaveney would probably prefer we not. But this is not going to go into the Colin Keaveney Journal of Tight Spirals. But it worked. It was effective. The ball certainly, it's just so hard to handle a football on a day like today. You're cold, the ball's cold, it's hard, and we're seeing it in terms of a lot of wobbly stuff going on. But Keaveney effectively delivered it. It was received, and the Presidents are on the Red Raider 30.
Plus, he was throwing into the wind down there on that side as well. Thomas Lee on the carry over to the left side, crossed the 20 at the 10, 5, and dives to the end zone. And no, they're going to say he stepped out of bounds at the 3-yard line, but what a great run by Thomas Lee for Quincy.
Great job by Lee, and I'll tell you what, the Red Raiders definitely poked a bear here. The Presidents are all fired up. Watch this run by Lee. Good for him. He's going to get outside on the left, and once he does, picks up a little head of steam, and he hit the pylon with the ball, but he had already stepped out of bounds. So
first and goal now for the Presidents at the 3-yard line. Under 2 minutes to play here in the third quarter. And timeouts being called down the field by North Quincy. Coach Ryan Craig came out trying to get the attention of the official because he wanted time.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he's upset about now, but he's trying to talk to the officials about some issue. And he's actually not bringing the team over. He called the timeout, and he's addressing the officials, so I don't know what happened. But Quincy knocking on the door here. Good for them, John, with 1:49 to go. They want to take that shutout off the board, if nothing else. And they're really fired up after whatever it is that occurred that resulted in the personal foul. So let's hope that players remain composed and merely compete. But we've got a first and goal here. It's going to be interesting to see how both teams react here. Quincy in the red zone for the first time.
Keaveney under center, hands off to Lee. Lee bounced off the tackler and will go into the touchdown. Great job there by Thomas Lee. Bounced off 2 tacklers, took it to the left, and punches it in for 6 points.
Yeah, great job. Well executed. Good blocking by the line. So there's a little chirping still going on here. I'm not sure what that's about. The players definitely need to regroup. It's interesting in a game like this that, we still have a lot of time left, and the boys are really fired up at each other. So it could still be more to come here in a game that had kind of just been all about North Quincy for a while here. Let's see what happens. Quincy's going to go for 2.
Presidents have an I formation behind Colin Keaveney in at quarterback. Lee is the I back. Play action fake. Pass was into the end zone and it is complete for the 2 points. Great play there by Colin Keaveney. Pass was complete to Derek Little. Little came free into the end zone, and Keaveney found him for the 2-point conversion with 1:41 left to go in the third quarter. Quincy's on the board. North Quincy's lead now 33-8.
Very well designed play, well executed by Keaveney, and I give the receiver great credit looking back into the sun like that. But he held on to the ball, so you think we're going to see some onside kicks now or what?
I don't know if we'll see it just yet or not, but we may.
Yeah, I don't know. The way, you're kicking into the wind here with 1:41 to go. Might be worth giving it a try. Nothing ventured. You're kind of in that area when you're down 33-8. So I would, if I were North Quincy High, I'd be ready for that, and we'll see what happens. The officials are doing an excellent job today. I've noticed a lot of them spending time with some of the kids, talking to them about different things. One of the boys from Quincy who had been a little chirpy on the touchdown was just escorted out by an official talking to him, trying to remind him what his priorities should be. So Quincy's lined up to kick. Let's see what they do.
Devontae Williams looks like he is attempting an onside kick, and it's going to be fielded cleanly there by North Quincy, and fielded by number 99, who unfortunately we don't have on our roster.
He's a senior, Demetrio. Yeah, he should. That's interesting that he isn't there. Yeah, you're right. I wonder if he changed uniforms at some point in the season. That's one of the things. There he is. He was 56, but he's 99 today. So.
All right, well, Demetrio, nice recovery
You
there.
keep up with us here, John. See, I do my pregame prep work, but Dimitri covered that perfectly, flawlessly. And honestly, nothing ventured, nothing gained. The ball's at the 48, but probably would have been at the 38 if they had kicked it off with this strong headwind. So, nice attempt by Quincy, but it was covered beautifully by Demetrio, and the Red Raiders are going to start.
When Tran on the carry, Devontae Williams came rushing in, and Tran did a nice job to evade him. But 3 Quincy Presidents come up to bring down Tran, so there'll be no gain on the play.
Yeah, they plugged gaps beautifully on that play. Tran's coming right out. I thought he landed awkwardly and was concerned about his ankle there. But he's out. He seems okay.
Second down and 10 now for North Quincy. Ball at their own 48-yard line, just past the 48. Under a minute now to go in the third quarter. Layden in the shotgun is going to pitch it over to number 21, Eric Helmuth. And Helmuth will get up to midfield for North Quincy.
Yeah, Eric's a senior, getting some time on Thanksgiving. He did a nice job of handling that pitch, turning it upfield. He picked up 2. And the key here is, even if they don't get a first down, that they are going to get that clock running, keep it running. I might consider getting this play off a little more quickly and giving the punter, Kieran O'Driscoll, the opportunity to kick with the wind, but it's not what's going to happen here, it seems. If they don't pick up a first, they may have to punt into the wind.
All right, this will be the last play of the third quarter. Layden's going to keep it himself, trying to fight his way forward into Quincy territory. And they're going to spot his forward progress down at the 47-yard line as time runs out here in the third quarter. So end of the third quarter play here on Thanksgiving morning. North Quincy 33, Quincy 8. And as we begin the fourth, North Quincy will have a 4th and about 6 to go.
Well, interestingly, you can say this much if you want to, keep a positive spin going from a president perspective. Quincy won the third quarter, 8-7, but that's not going to be good enough as they began the quarter trailing by 26. So North's mission now is going to be to do what they did in this third quarter, which is maintain control over the environment out on the field there. Hopefully when the offense has the ball, keep possession, move the ball down the field steadily, and eat some clock. From the Quincy perspective, they'd love to get some quick strikes here. Now that the field's switched and the Presidents are going from our left to our right, from our north to our south, that gives Colin Keaveney an opportunity to throw with a wind at his back, which could be a factor as well. So we'll see if Quincy can't put some more points up on the board, John, and narrow the gap, make it interesting. That's eternal optimism, I recall that. So we'll see.
All right, teams come out onto the field to begin the fourth quarter. And it'll be 4th and 4 for the Red Raiders. And lining up to kick it away is Kieran O'Driscoll. O'Driscoll just does get it away. Kick goes over to the right side. And it's going to take a North Quincy friendly roll all the way up inside the 10 and finally down at the 9-yard line.
Well, that is a Yet another terrific kicking performance by O'Driscoll. His second pin inside the 10. So he's done his job today. Great stuff by Kieran. Quincy's going to have 90-plus yards to go here, and they'd like to make that trek quickly. So we'll see what happens here. See if the North defense doesn't step up. The last time these two teams were out, the offensive team for Quincy and defensive team for North, there were some fireworks on the field, so we'll see what that translates into. Got an I formation, so maybe going back to the running game here. Nope, going to the air.
Keithney looking to try to get out of harm's way, pass the ball, and it's complete at the 15-yard line. And ball will go up to number 32. That's Devin Desmond. And Desmond will get knocked out of bounds at the 17-yard line.
Desmond is another one of the super sophomores that's out on the field today. There's a large group of them, mostly on the North Quincy side of the ball, but nice little dump off by Keaveney to Desmond. Desmond picks up 8 yards, and it's going to bring up a second. They call it a 2nd and 1, so we'll give him 9 yards.
Desmond's done a nice job down there, Jim, as well. I've seen him trying to keep the Quincy players calm and cool down there as well. And as a sophomore, nice job there by Desmond to do that. Handoff goes to Thomas Lee, and they're going to spot him down at the 19-yard line, enough for the first down.
Down by number 54, Michael Levine.
On the tackle, number 54, Mike Levine. I frankly thought that he might be a bigger factor today, because I expected the Quincy running game to be the dominating force of the first half. The turnovers have hurt them, so we haven't heard Levine's name as much.
Keaveney pass, and it's complete at the 24-yard line to number 80, Derek Little. And Little will go out of bounds to stop the clock with 9:10 left to go in the fourth quarter. And they said, no, the clock will continue to run, excuse me.
That was another wobbler. You were talking about wobblers at halftime, but the ball's too cold and too hard. It feels very differently.
Yeah, the wind has been blowing all game long, and it's tough for us to tell how it is exactly on the field as well, because at some point the flag in the northeast corner of the stadium has been not waving, but as you can tell, it's been blowing down on the field. Thomas Lee on the carry this time for the Presidents, and he'll get a gain of 1 on the play up to the Quincy 25-yard line. And I'll bring up now a 3rd and 4 for the Presidents.
Two captains of the Red Raiders. It'll be 3rd down and 4.
So again, 3rd and 4 now for the Presidents. 4 receivers set for Quincy. Quarterback Colin Keaveney in the shotgun. Hunter Plouffe, number 18, in the backfield with him. Keaveney looking to pass downfield and was looking for Desmond, and they just could not connect. Desmond upset that he couldn't reel it in, but that was a tough play.
Yeah, Desmond catches that ball if it's 32 degrees or warmer. And after talking about the wobbles, Keaveney delivers a beautiful spiral strike. But that was a weather condition factor there, and he could not pull it in. President's going to go for it on 4th and 4 here. And again, as I alluded to earlier, with the score what it is, and this is a game that you either win or lose, you want to be playing to win. They're going to go for it, even though they're at their own 25, John.
So
cannot disagree with the decision.
4th and 4, 7 minutes and 50 seconds to go. And that ball slipped out of Keaveney's hands, and it will go incomplete. It was intended for Desmond. It will be a turnover on downs, and North Quincy will take over.
1st down and 10, North Quincy.
Keaveney had a man in the flat. Again, it was Desmond, but the ball slipped out of Keaveney's hands, and part of it was probably, as you said, Jim, a couple times here today with the ball so hard, it's tough to grip, and he was trying to get a quick throw out to Desmond in the flat. Could not hold on to it, So North Quincy will take over with 7:45 left to go in the game. And the ball is spotted at the Quincy 25-yard line. 1st and 10 now for the Red Raiders.
Yeah, he saw the open receiver and just tried to get it to him quickly. So you're right about that.
Layden hands off to Win Tran over to the left side. Tran crosses the 20 and brings down 3 players with him into the 15-yard line for Win Tran and the Red Raiders. And it should be enough for the first down.
Taken down by number 28, Xavier Molina of Quincy.
Well, with 7:18 to go and counting, it looks like the Red Raiders are going to take this one home. They're inside the 15. They've got a comfortable lead. It's going to be a little bit of a difficult, game for the Quincy Presidents to swallow because of the way it went down. But North Quincy definitely played a good ball game today in a number of respects. And this young man with the ball now, number 32, Win Tran, with a terrific season. It's nice to see him on Thanksgiving Day playing so well, John, because he sustained some injuries that interrupted his season and made it a difficult one for him. And so for all these seniors, Turkey Day is the day when they really measure their season, and it's nice for Tran to get some vindication today. On the Quincy side of the ball, a couple of the guys, Mark McKenna, he's played terrifically. He's still out there on the field. He's been great defensively for the Presidents, and he's been a gritty lineman for them offensively. He's one of the guys they really relied on, and he certainly did his share today.
Tran on the carry over to the right side on 2nd down and 5. And they're going to give Tran a gain of about 1 on the play. We'll see where they finally spot the ball. And they're going to spot it just inside the 10. So we'll call it the 9-yard line. I'll bring it by 3rd and about 4 for the Red Raiders. Make it 5, actually. 3rd and 5.
Yeah, and that was McKenna who made that stop. As I mentioned, he's been consistent. He's been out there the whole time performing. Another guy who fits that same bill as the other captain for the Presidents, Andrew Rooney. Nice decision by Coach Ryan Craig today. Put Tim Layden, who's a terrific athlete. We've seen that all season. We'll talk about him a little more in a minute. But he put Layden out on Rooney defensively and just took him away. He was not a target because he was always covered.
3rd and 5 for the Red Raiders. Handoff goes to Win Tran. And he's going to be shy of the first down. He needed to get inside the 5, and he was stopped just shy of the 5-yard line. So they'll bring up 4th and about 1 now for North Quincy.
Yeah, so on this play, they've got to go for it when they're ahead 33-8. And what I like here is Craig's going to bring in a new quarterback on this play, Ciro Mora, a sophomore. He's going to take, maybe he's
I believe
Liam Hines. I thought he was bringing in Moore to play quarterback, but Layden's in the huddle calling the play, so we'll see what Moore is going to.
Coming in actually was number 9, Andrew Arosis, who had been injured earlier in the year.
Yeah.
So Arosis coming in at receiver. Tran gets the carry, and he's going to be stopped and brought down shy. He's going to lose a yard in the play. Nice job there by the Presidents to come up and make the stop. Troy Isaac coming up there along with Mark McKenna for Quincy. And it'll be a turnover on downs, and Quincy's able to hold the Red Raiders.
I did what you did earlier. I was on the wrong page. Moore is a Quincy kid. I saw them bringing number 9 up and regrettably forgot about Andrew Arosis, one of the captains, because he's a senior who injured his collarbone very severely. So they got him in for a snap here. He's get to play in Turkey Day, but you don't want to see the boy get further injured. So looks like that's going to be his time on the field today. And nice job by Coach Craig to be alert and aware of Andrew Arosis.
All right, ball comes loose on the handoff attempt for Quincy, and North Quincy has recovered the fumble, Jim.
Well, with 3:40 to go, it looks like the North Quincy offense is going to have an opportunity to either run out the clock or come close to it. So turnovers, which were, the rule in the first half, it looked like Quincy had solved that issue, but they come back to haunt here, and the Quincy defense back on the field with its back against the wall. The ball's at the 6. We'll expect North to have a few running plays here. And now they're doing what I had thought they were doing earlier there. Looks like they're going to bring in a new quarterback. Tim Layden's going to catch a break, and looks like number 13, Andrew Gott, is going to run the offense here in this final few minutes.
Jim, if it could have gone wrong for Quincy here today, it has. It's been unfortunate, and certainly the weather has been a factor, but the ball was bouncing towards North Quincy's way in every which possible way here this morning, and I have to give credit to North Quincy. They took advantage of the opportunities as well. So with 3:01 left to go here in the game, North Quincy on top 33-8, trying to add on to that. And Gott handed the ball off to number 21, Eric Helmuth.
It looks like Helmuth will be the guy. They're trying to give a senior who didn't get a lot of time this year an opportunity on Thanksgiving Day. So we like that and understand that. Yeah, you're right about that, John, but I do give a lot of credit to Coach Ryan Craig. Starting at the coin toss, it just seemed like he made a lot of decisions where, although when one says they're going to defer, you think they're not being aggressive. He actually was. I think he read the vibe for the game properly. He knew Quincy had a sophomore quarterback, so he put his defense out on the field first. He put a priority on the wind conditions and having the right side of the field coming out of the locker room in the third quarter. Here's another fumble, but this one's covered by North.
Now handoff went to Michael Ladis, number 10 for the Red Raiders, and he could not control it, was able to jump on it and recover the fumble for North Quincy.
So Craig's coaching and decision-making combined with Quincy's issues with turnovers created quite a first-half stew for the Red Raiders. They capitalized greatly and made the best of their opportunities. Went to the locker room up 26-0, and that's really been the story of the game because the second half, thus far at least, it's been 8-7 Quincy.
Helmuth on the carry, and he's going to get brought down in the backfield. You have to give credit also to the North Quincy defenders. There was 4 interceptions in the first half by North Quincy, and every time Quincy went to pass the ball, there seemed to be a Red Raider right in the middle of that lane or cutting it off unexpectedly. So credit there to North Quincy in the first half. And I mentioned at the top of the second half, there were 3 fumbles and 4 interceptions for Quincy in the first half. And again, just the Red Raiders doing everything they possibly could to try to put this game away early, and they certainly did. Under 40s.
I'm looking down on the sideline here, and I hope these kids don't do it, but it looks like they're going to. They've got the water bucket ready for Coach Craig.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get one of our cameras to get the coverage there as they're coming out.
Craig is a great guy, and they should not do this to him. But
so they have 2 Gatorades, and he's I'm sure he's expecting it, but doesn't know when it's coming. So we'll see if our cameras can get that as it's coming down here. And North Quincy will kneel the ball to end this game.
He's over there hugging his coaches and everything. He's not expecting this.
And he's at the 30-yard line, Jim.
There's only 1 second left.
And there's the water on Coach Ryan Craig.
He doesn't even blink.
And final score here at Veterans Memorial Stadium. North Quincy with a huge victory, 33-8 over Quincy. And as we mentioned a couple times here today, just an outstanding effort, all-around effort by North Quincy. Offense, defense, coaching, special teams, you name it. North Quincy had it going for them here today.
Yeah, and there are 4 school buses out and back here ready to take the players back to their respective schools, but a couple of them are not going to be necessary as the Red Raider tradition, when they win, of carrying the pumpkin trophy down Hancock Street. The boys are going to get the opportunity to head north and walk that one home today, and it's a well-earned and really wonderful treat today on a cold, blustery day. The Red Raiders had a great football game.
They're going to be happy walking back there, Jim, to try to stay warm as well.
Yeah. Well, really something. There's not much left to say, to be honest. The Presidents had a rough day. Raiders had a terrific one. And I know we generally stay and observe the trophy presentation. We'll hope that goes sooner rather than later so the camera folks can start to wrap up what has been a long day. So it's tough to see the Quincy kids who really worked hard all season, and the second half of the season things really started to come together for them. It's tough to see them walking off so bothered, but the season ends on a down note, a sour note, but all in all, they did a nice job, and there's a lot to look forward to for the Presidents in the coming seasons.
Real quick, while we have a moment, we want to encourage you to log on to QATV's website at qatv.org for all the replay times of this 86th annual Thanksgiving Day football game between the two schools. So again, qatv.org if you're interested to see when the game will be replayed on QATV Channel 8. QATV's Chris Potter is down on the field along with our cameramen Matt Coughlin and Scott Daniels. They're going to try to get into the middle of the action down on the field as Superintendent Richard DeCristofaro will present the trophy to head coach Ryan Craig and the North Quincy Red Raiders. And as you can see, our cameraman's getting down into position there down the field. While we're waiting for that, we should also thank all the other crew here as well. Sasha Goldberg on camera, along with Maureen Conway and Frank Hogan. In the truck, Anna El Tori on audio, Fred Shepard on graphics. Director was Peter Doherty. Chris Potter, our engineer, and our executive producer, Elizabeth Campbell. You can see Coach Craig right there in the middle of the screen.
Yeah, Dr. DeCristofaro is a Quincy High grad, a very proud Quincy High grad, but he's always gracious when presenting the trophy to the Red Raiders.
And the team's moving from the north end zone down to the south end zone. Throwing a curveball for everyone.
Yeah, we'd like to see them just accept the trophy and call it a day here. You'd think they'd do it in the sunlight, but they've gathered together, and where is, I don't see our superintendent. There he is. He'll only present it on the Quincy High side of the field. That's what he's doing. So, well, it's nice, and all the parents are out there. This is a nice little ceremony. It's nice for one of the teams, and this year it's the Red Raiders. So this is year 3 in a row. How many was it that Quincy won in a row?
I believe it was 9 and 13 or 14 or something along those lines.
Yeah, I thought it was 10 with Bob Noble and then something like 13 or 14.
Yeah, it was 10 and 14 or 15.
Yeah, a very impressive string. Well, now North starting its own. This is number 3. Number 3 in a row, so.
All right, so looks like we're getting ready in position here for the trophy presentation. And players are waiting for the superintendent to come out with the trophy.
I think he's down there. I think we're waiting for Chris Potter to get a microphone going here. Is that it?
So everything's in position. We're just waiting for the actual presentation. And Well, now Superintendent's now making his way into the middle here.
Let's go! Let's go!
Hey! Superintendent, assistant superintendent, and we're here to congratulate the city champs! Quincy High School! Come! All yours, baby. Good job, good job. Congratulations, y'all. Be good, be good.
Thank you.
Great job. Great job.
Everyone touch it. All you guys.
All right, so as you said, Jim, for the third year in a row, the North Quincy Red Raiders will raise the city trophy after a 33-8 dominant victory here today on Thanksgiving morning. It's been quite a year of football, here in the city of Quincy, and we want to thank all of our crew for coming out here today again for their hard work on this cold, frigid day. It was tough for the football bouncing all around, and it was tough for our equipment and for our volunteers as well, so we want to thank them for all their hard work and come out here. And we want to thank you as well for tuning in to QATV's coverage of high school sports here this fall, high school football here this fall. So we appreciate you tuning in as we see a great shot down there, down on the field, as all the Red Raiders hovered around the trophy.
Yeah, it's a nice way to end the season. And as John says, we're very pleased for, to be able to present this type of action to you. It's great to see the kids smiling and enjoying this. It's going to be something they get to carry now the rest of their lives with them, that they won this Thanksgiving Day game. So to also carry that it was the coldest one too. So.
Certainly
but
was.
Thanks. I do want to thank the crew as well, because they did a great job under very difficult conditions. This was a tough day, and they really worked hard and did a great job.
All right, so again, final score here, 33-8, North Quincy with a big victory on Thanksgiving morning. For Jim Timmons and all of the crew here on Thanksgiving morning, and for the board of directors and staff of Quincy Access TV, my name is Jonathan Caleri. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone, and thanks for tuning in to this edition of QATV Sports.